I want you to be aware of some of these important facts. It's not just about the drugs you've taken or the food that you've eaten. It's about how you digest, assimilate, and eliminate the toxins in your body, and we talked about that a few weeks ago. It's finding out if you're nutrient deficient and if you're now how to become nutrient sufficient so that your body can fight infections and keep your immune system strong. This can't be done by just reading the latest book on nutrients or running down to your local health food store or entering the internet for the best price of this or that. No, ask yourself, how successful have most of us been following this type of health pattern when we've tried to lose weight for years? Well, most of us lose it, but we put it back, plus with each attempt, and that's the disparaging part. So, speaking for myself, I know what I shouldn't eat, but I still got to 311 pounds. The books were out there, the information was out there. I couldn't control it. Until I knew how to get my body balanced inside, then I didn't have the problem anymore. Was I stupid? No, actually for years I thought so. But the truth is I didn't know what my body needed on a cellular level, so I didn't have the cravings which forced me to eat what I really thought I needed. But usually after eating the forbidden food, I felt terrible, both physically. Obviously I got fatter, and mentally my moods would go up and down. I was like a roller coaster all the time. I mean, from when I was just very, very young. I guess that's why there's always another diet book or a product that the advertisers want you to think is the new miracle. Do they work? No, but we have hope that we can drop the latest and greatest pill and we'll get thin. And of course, we really know the truth because we buy the junk, but we think maybe this time it's going to work. No, it's about your health. Find out from a qualified professional what you need, not what your sister needs, your husband needs, your aunts needs, your best friend. You are as unique as your fingerprints. No two people are alike. Find out for yourself. Remember, if you want to deal with your health, you have to deal with you. And that's a whole other story and another show that we'll get into. But if you're interested in finding out just on a how you're feeling basis, you can send for my free Candida questionnaire if you like by sending a number 10 envelope stamped to the address that'll be given at the end of the show, and I'll be pleased to send it out for you. This is a real passion for me, and I want as many people to know. That doesn't mean necessarily that you have it, but it has a testing. You'll have a pretty good idea if you fall into that category. If you do seek the right kind of help, because it causes, as you know now, so many problems. So again, I want to reiterate, and I really hope you have your pen and pad out because this is really important. Even want to maybe watch the show again if you didn't get it all, because if it's not you, you're going to be one of the friends that say, oh, I saw a show on this and it sounds just like you. So, Candida is considered to be part of the normal bowel flora. It's an organism which coexists with many other species of bacteria in the lower digestive tract. So, unless the balance of bacteria in the lower bowel is upset, Candida coexists in a compatible balance, and it's quite under control. But there are a number of factors which cause the problem. Now, this is where you want to have your pen handy. Antibiotics destroy the bacterial component of the normal bowel flora and allows an overgrowth of Candida. The bacterial balance can likewise be upset by steroid hormones such as cortisone and birth control pills, which contain progesterone. Sugar in the diet can also cause and maintain an overgrowth of Candida. So what happens? What are the effects? Again, have your pencil handy, make notes. Candida can spread out from the lower bowel to the stomach and get established throughout the entire digestive system. It can also travel into the throat, mouth, and nasal passages and down into the lungs. The leaky bowel theory. This is when the Candida is dipping deep into the wall of the lower bowel and damages the membranes to the extent that toxic byproducts of digestion leak into the bloodstream. The phenomena can cause systemic, allergic reactions and distant sites such as the joints, lungs, and the brain. There are 79 toxic products of the yeast itself that have so far been identified. This can contribute to a lower response of the immune system against infection. Candida can also attack the immune system itself. It causes suppressor cell diseases in which there are not enough of the cells. This will then slow down the production of antibiotics by the B cells. Under these conditions, the immune system will produce antibodies at the slightest provocation. What are the most common symptoms? First, gastrointestinal, and a lot of you are going to find yourself in this category. Gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, rectal itching, vaginal itching and discharge, bladder burning, frequent urination, prostatic irritation in men, skin. You might have hives or rashes. So how many of you are taking other things, covering up the Candida, not dealing with the actual condition? The systemic symptoms are chronic fungal infection. This might be something like athlete's feet, which is very common. The brain symptoms would be depression, loss of concentration, low energy, headaches, sleep disturbances. Another thing would be loss of sex drive in both men and women. Premenstrual syndrome, intolerance to alcohol, and miscellaneous things like itchy eyes, blurred vision, dizziness. And it's more likely for women to get infected than men. Actually, 7 women to 3 men get systemic candidiasis. So, avoid the following. Let's talk a little bit about food. My favorite subject, okay? Substances which contain yeast molds or ferments like bread, biscuits, and rolls. Now, all of you are already upset, particularly women. I'm sorry, I didn't make this up. This is the way it is. I had to do this, so I'm telling you. The next thing is all vinegar, apple, distilled wine, grapes, pear, rice, etc. This includes foods which contain any vinegar, such as salad dressing, mayonnaise, pickles, ketchup, sauerkraut, olives, barbecue sauce, tomato sauce. Don't close off the show yet. I'm giving you good information. I know you're not happy, but you know, once you get rid of this, you'll feel marvelous. All fermented beverages. Here we go. Beer. I'm sorry, men. Wine, champagne, whiskey, rum, brandy, tequila, root beer, ginger ale. Also substances which contain alcohol, extracts, tinctures, cough syrups, and other medications. Now, what's my favorite thing? All cheeses, including fermented dairy products, cottage cheese, natural blended and pasteurized cheeses, yogurt, buttermilk, sour cream, all part of it. Now, the good thing about knowing that I went through all this is that I have alternatives to almost everything. Remember, I'm a foodaholic too. I have got in every area that I've talked about, there are alternatives that you can get so you'll be happy. Now you pay $25 for a meal and you're walking out feeling, oh, I feel terrible, my acid reflux. All this is heartburn. Hello, but the drug companies could call it a name, so now we got a drug for it. I don't want you to have to take all this junk. I want you to keep your body as natural as possible so you can live a happier, healthier life. There is no sense in working all your life planning for your future when you might not have one, right? Right. Take care as much of your body as you do your car, will be okay. Now we get into all malt products like milk drinks, cereals, candies, which all have been malted. These are all things that aggravate us. Then there's the fermented molds, soy sauce, mushrooms, truffles. Also antibiotics such as penicillin and all the systemic derivatives. And I'm not going to go into all those because we're all experts because we've been given them most of our life. Vitamin B, B complex, and multiple vitamins containing yeast. Most people don't know what's in the vitamins that they get in the store. It's very important that these things not be in it because you're taking it for one condition and creating havoc at the other condition. And here you're taking B maybe for more energy. And what does the Candida do? Pull your energy. So you're spending money and throwing it away for nothing. All products containing brewer's yeast or derivatives of brewer's yeast. Also watch out for milk, cereals from wheat, fruit juices, frozen or in cans, which might have molds in minute quantities. Dried fruits such as prunes, raisins, dates, figs, apricots, etc., which could have mold on them. Fresh fruits in sugar, peanuts. Avoid all arginine-rich foods. These are nuts and chocolate and and chicken. And you'd be surprised when I do allergy testing, because I normally do allergy testing and Candida together. It is amazing, the food allergies. Like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, I don't really know. But you see, a lot of these foods come up as allergies in the person that has been suffering. And of course, the last thing, avoid candy like the plague. And that's sugar, sugar, sugar. So it's real important. I'm not here to make you depressed. I'm trying to give you some help. But I need to tell you this, that a lot of the things that you're doing every day are just putting water on the plant. And the Candida is getting worse and worse as your body is breaking down more and more. And in particular, women, and I don't think, gentlemen, I don't want you to think I don't love you and take care of you, but more women take care of their health than you fellas. You know, you have to wait till something's not going to go up until you know, come and see me because you don't want it to have surgery. Women at least know they're going through PMS or perimenopause or menopause, which, believe it or not, you know, in the Orient they don't even have a word for menopause. It's just our diet that's creating this monster. So if we can get you straightened up, I never had a hot flash. I never had anything that exciting happen to me. So you don't have to have it. And who ate more junk than me? You don't get to 311 pounds without eating a lot of stuff. Not good stuff either. So conditions associated with the gut dysfunction, and a lot of you are going to put yourself in here. There'll be food allergies, chronic fatigue, joint pain, neurological problems, autoimmune disease, dermatological conditions, depression, parasites. Nobody wants to talk about parasites. Altered intestinal permeability, asthma, osteoporosis, and I could list a lot of other things, but I think you get the gist of what I'm really trying to tell you. It's vitally important that you don't keep covering over symptoms and not find out what the cause of the issue is. And if it is Candida and you're being treated for something over here, you could feel better. There's no question, because anything's going to make you feel better if you're feeling bad. There's enough drugs out there. And then it's worse if you try to cover it up, trying to take something that's multi-level, or you go to the store, or you read something on the internet. Find out what you need to do. Get your body healed so that it can not come back. Because if you don't take care of what you have wrong with you, you're constantly putting a bandage on top and the infection is still there. And what is the point? You know, people always, and I've said this in other shows, want me to talk more about, well, when are you going to do a show on anti-aging? Well, you know, if you do the right things for your body now, if you feed your body and you become nutrient sufficient, your body is automatically staying young. You don't have to age. Aging is a decision we make ourselves for the most part. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some conditions that are genetic, like a celiac disease or something like that. But the things that we're seeing today, I'm seeing young people with heart disease. I'm seeing sugar problems all over the place. I'm seeing overweight. I'm seeing people totally out of control and don't think they can do anything. And I can understand that because, you know, I know when I stayed on some diets and didn't cheat, I didn't take off the weight that I wanted to. And when I did lose some weight, before I turned around, if I got upset with something that happened in my life, in a week's time I had put that on plus. So, you know, I understand, and that's why the show is so important for me to share some of the things that I have found out. And it's been a real blessing to me to be able to work with people when they come here who are really, basically, you know, I used to say, are you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? I should have quoted that or did something, because I did this over 20 odd years ago and nobody was saying this. But basically this is what's happening and people laugh it off, and now you're going to see, whether it be birthdays or celebrations or holidays, where you're overly stressed, that's because you started off that way. And it just gets worse and worse. Take the time for you. Take the time to realistically say, gee, what do I need to do naturally to put my body back where it should be? This was made to be natural. It wasn't made to take all these drugs that make us more toxic, and we have an effect from one drug, and then we take another drug to overdo the effect of this drug. Drugs are covering up symptoms. They're not dealing with the cause. I'd like you to just think about this, make some changes, little changes, find somebody to work with who really knows what they're talking about. You can't go to an allopathic doctor and talk to him about nutrition because they haven't studied it, they have no credentials in it. And it's important that you find somebody who's going to work with you, not against you. So I want to just hope that this lesson has been of interest to you. Again, if you would like to have a free copy of a Candida questionnaire that you can test yourself at home, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address at the end of the show, and I'll be pleased to send it out to you. I thank you for watching tonight, and take care of yourself and those you love.